Hello, it's time for your weekly wellness oracle card reading for the week of June 7th through June 13th, 2021, and we're going to start it right about now. Hello, my name is Erin. Welcome in if you haven't been here before. If you have been here before, thanks for coming back. I appreciate that. And I hope that you have all been having a lovely week. We're going to go ahead. I have chapter markers for you. If you need to jump around, feel free to do so. I know your time is valuable, so you have to do what you got to do in order to get the information you need, right? And I'm all for that. If you can stick around, since this is a video on whole self wellness and being able to figure out how we can kind of balance all of our physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and energetic bodies so that we can have whole self wellness, I do like to offer some breathing exercises and an intention setting because I feel that that is really important. A really important part of being able to bring everything into alignment and balance. So you might as well take a few minutes for yourself, right? I mean, why not? So for those of you who would like to join me, let's go ahead and breathe. And when you breathe in, you're going to inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. You can breathe in light such as pink or green for healing and love, gold for love, for healing, excuse me. My colors are mixed up in my head today. You can do white light, blue light for shielding if you choose. Any kind of color you want that makes you happy or get the feeling that you are wanting to have in this beautiful reading today. When you exhale through your mouth, and you're going to just blow away all the worries, the cares, the problems of the day. Take a few minutes for yourself to just be calm, be you, be free to do what you need to do in order to feel aware, relaxed, so you can resonate. You can hear those messages that resonate with you today and take them with you throughout your week, right? So you can do it 3 to 5 times. That usually does it. If you need to do it more, you can pause the video. I'll do a couple with you. Maybe just one more. I mean, why not? Because sometimes I get a little pumped up. I can use a little calming down. I'm with it. All right, so breathing is complete for me anyway. If you need to take more time, for sure do it. Do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and light us a candle so that we can set an intention, and also just to have the candle because for me it's just beautiful. It helps remind me of the connection I have to my spiritual team that helps me every week with these wonderful readings that I enjoy doing so much. So if you want to set an intention, go right ahead. It can be anything that you want. So the intention that I'll set for this reading today is that we are able to hear the messages that resonate most with us today, and that we will be able to implement those into our week so that they can bring us some alignment for the greatest good of all. And so be it, and so it is. And we shall light our candle. Thank you, candle. That's a good flame. All right, so we have our breathing complete. We have our intention complete. So let's go ahead and do our reading. The bestest part. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and find what elemental energy will be guiding us or will be present this week that we need to know about in order for us to address and stay in alignment for whole self wellness, right? So we're going to go ahead and see what elemental energy we'll be working with this week. And we have groundedness. Yeah, groundedness, gravity, number 39. I couldn't see. It was such little writing. I need to do some eye exercises. So groundedness, gravity. All right. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. So this is showing that she's at peace because she's grounded. Everything is coming to her how she needs it to be happening, and she is grounded in all of this energy coming to her, right? So it's a pulling of things into her. So that's beautiful. I like that. And then let's go ahead and get our moon card. This is going to, I use this to find out kind of what emotional energy, because the moon to me signifies like emotions. So the emotional energy that we'll be working with, or the moon energy that we need to be aware of, that will kind of tell us what our emotional state is going to be, or what we need to look for this week. And it is look at the bigger picture. It's a full moon in Sagittarius. So there you go. And we just had the full moon in Sagittarius, I think, like last week or something. I can't remember. So I'll just not talk about it because I don't know absolutely for sure, because I forgot already. Imagine that. All right, so look at the bigger picture. Now, and a full moon is usually a time of release, right? That's when we like to release things. And looking at the bigger picture is telling me that we need to look at the things that are ready to be released, but is not really just the stuff that's right in front that we can see really clearly. This might take a little bit of thinking about, like, what is the bigger picture that will help us, or help you in the long run, to decide, you know, on a larger scale, what is going to need to be released for my greatest good, and in turn the greatest good of all. This is like big picture stuff, right? What animal spirit will be walking with us this week that will help us to find whole self wellness, be in alignment? Ooh, cow spirit, yay. The miracles are endless. Oh, that's good news. The miracles are endless. So don't you worry. Miracles are waiting for you. And I love how this pretty little cow here, I love how she's got on her little crown of flowers, and she's got flowers all around her. She's got the little feather. So that always makes me think of like magical things in the other realms that we can't see, right? With our well, some of us probably can see some of it, but I can't. So so to me that is very magical, right? And that's where like the miracles come from. So this tells me that we just need to remember that the miracles are in fact endless. Possibilities are endless when we just kind of, and this release card too, right? The full moon, look at the bigger picture card. So this is kind of telling me when we just let go of what is no longer serving us. First of all, it makes room for new things to come to us, new opportunities, right? New miracles to come into our lives that we are now ready for, because we got rid of all of the stuff that just didn't serve us any longer. So that makes good room for the magic to happen, right? So when we're able to just surrender that, release it, let it go, and know that, and not put a lot of expectations on what's to come, just know that we're going to get what we need for sure, right? Might not be exactly the way we wanted it to, but in the end, it's always exactly what we needed at the time when we needed it, and it turns out to be a beautiful thing. It's a miracle, right? So that's good. I love that. Now let's go ahead and see what number energy we'll be working with this week, because we've got to know that. I love numbers. Like, I suck at math, but I love numbers. I don't know why. So there you go. Now we have number 14, moderation. This is telling me that we need to have moderation find balance in our lives. Make sure that we're not overindulging in activities that lower our vibration. Things like drinking too much alcohol, eating too excess of sugar, because that really can bog you down and can cause all kinds of symptoms. Brain fog, it ages your body faster when you have too much of that going on. It makes your liver work really hard, so you're not able to really detox as much as you need to, right? Which we'll talk about a little bit later, I'm sure. But the moderation is, don't find a balance between, make sure that you're not doing too many things in a manner that is overindulging in activities or practices that like I said, lower your vibration a little bit, right? We want to stay in balance and do the things that are keeping our vibration a little bit higher. because this is what, and this goes perfectly with all of these cards, like it always does, right? So this is perfect, a perfect addition to this spread so far, because we're really taking a look at looking at things from a different perspective. The gravity card that we got is having a grounded perspective, and then look at the bigger picture is taking a step back from your situation where you are now and looking at it through a different perspective on a larger scale, and not really being too picky about all the little tiny things, right? We want to have a different perspective on that. And then the cow, and even with the cow spirit, right? This is a perspective too, is you have everything that you need right now, and you're going to continue to get everything that you need. Pay attention to the things that are making you feel alive, right? On that higher vibration, because this is like talking about manifesting, right? Manifesting our miracles. So that's also like watch how you're thinking, what you're saying, all of those things. So this is all adding up to just making sure that we are balanced in and letting what we want to manifest, because we are in alignment, we are balanced, we are not putting ourselves on too small of a scale. We have started to do the work that we need to, right? We've been working on ourselves for a while now. Everybody has a shadow and a light side to them, right? And so this is like, we have been working on the shadow side. We're releasing and letting go of those things that are no longer serving us. And right, so we're getting rid of the shadow side, making room for the new miracles to come through, and looking at it on that larger scale, right? All right, and then I went ahead and pulled the consciousness card. We got the consciousness. So on a conscious level, what we're going to be looking at and dealing with this week is nature spirits. And this says, I respect all of nature's elemental beings and help preserve life on earth. And this is number 35. And I like this little nature spirit. She's beautiful. So respect stands out to me here. I know it's talking a lot about and it's talking about all of nature's elemental beings, right? And that to me is also thinking on a higher kind of scale, the bigger kind of picture. So just more confirmation, which is okay. I like confirmation. So let's go ahead and get a botanical card. This is kind of what's going to help us to nourish our bodies the most. It will tell us about herbs and flowers and medicinal properties, how we can nourish ourselves on a physical kind of level. So what do we need to know for whole self wellness? And we have nourish. Plantain. So there you go. We got to nourish ourselves, right? And this to me is telling me that we need to nourish ourselves in many areas, right? It goes along with the bigger picture and the moderation to really start seeing things on a different scale of, yeah, we've been taking care of all the little things lately since we started these wellness videos, right? We've been looking at these little areas, but now we're looking at how are we going to put these together to do the whole, right? To make it whole self wellness, whole self care, right? So that fits just perfectly. Let's go ahead and get our last card. A self-care card to let us know how we can practice, what self-care practices we can do that will help us with the whole self wellness too. Sometimes I gotta shuffle these ones for a minute. Oh, there it is. Oh, read. Number 42, read. Love it. So reading is gonna be good. And it can be a book, it can be a magazine, it can be reading music or poems. It can be reading something online. It doesn't just have to be a book. But when I see this card, I always think of for me, the reading a book is just so experience. It's an experience for me. I love this to open the pages. I love the feel of the pages. I love the smell of the ink. That I can smell the ink on the pages, all of it. I love flipping through them. And when I get a book that I really love, I like devour it. Like I cannot put that thing down until I am finished reading it. I will stay up for days trying to finish a big old fat book, right? Like I sleep a little bit. I try not to be crazy weird about it, but I will admit that sometimes I'm crazy weird about it. So that's how that works, right? So this is telling me to, and you may likely find something in a book that you need to know about moderation, about looking at things through a bigger perspective. So I'm seeing here that maybe there's a self-help book that you will likely want to read, or even blog posts or anything like that. Here's our wellness portion of it, all right? Wellness tips, whatever you want to call it. So everybody has their own perspective or their own circumstances and situations that we're dealing with, like I said, right? So we're going to, when you start feeling in your body, right? Feeling in your gut, however you feel it, because people feel things in their bodies differently too, right? So so we're going to want to get grounded first of all. Make sure we're doing practices that make us grounded, because when we're doing big work and we're using our brains a lot, we really need, and getting information, especially when we're talking about like spiritual type kind of information from other realms or whatever, from the universe, right? We really need to be able to be grounded so that we can and manifestation even, right? Because this is talking about manifesting stuff into our lives as well, manifesting the miracles that we would like to have, right? So we really want to do practices that are going to keep us grounded, because we need to be able to have all those messages, all those feelings, all that energy to be able to go down into the ground first, because we are physical beings, right? We just can't, I mean, if you can conjure things up out of the air, like, more power to you, my friend, more power to you. But I can't do that. I got to have the stuff go to the ground first and be able to acclimate with my person, right? Get in there and mix everything all up before I can set things into the physical realm for me. All right. So we really need to have that groundedness in order to be able to manifest our miracles. So this is a continuation that we've been looking at, because we are here to have, find the paths in our lives that bring us joy so we can live a more joyful life, be happier, make our dreams come true, manifest the things into our lives that we really are looking for, experience wise or otherwise, whatever it is for you, right? So we are now coming to the place where it's like, okay, well, you've been working on these little details and doing your shadow work, right? We're looking at how we can put the pieces together. Now you're ready to start looking at the bigger picture. We've been talking a lot about adventures and new beginnings, and Sagittarius is like having fun. So this is not like heavy, oh, I got a lot of work to do, burdeny kinds of things, right? This is what the moderation thing tells me. So this is like Sagittarius is like, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to go on an adventure. I got stuff to learn. I want to see it on a bigger scale. I don't want to see it on just this little thing. I want to have, a big thing happen here, right? And the moderation to me is just warning me that it's okay to have fun, right? But we don't want to overindulge. We don't want to have fun in the areas that are going to lower our vibration. We want to stay having the higher vibrational thoughts, doing the higher vibrational activities, like we talked, that nourish our soul, that make us feel alive and joyful, right? And light, and be able to hear and feel the resonance in our body of what is working for us and what isn't. And that's what the cow spirit is for me, is just making sure that we're staying on, doing the things that make us feel really awesome inside, right? Really resonate with us, really make us feel like, oh, I could do this forever. I just love it, and so that you are staying in that higher vibration, because that's the kind that's what you want to manifest, right? That's what you want to have more of in your life, is the things that make you feel amazing, right? We don't want to do things that make us feel icky. I don't want to have all that in my life. Thank you very much. And then of course the nourish, and then we have the read card. So I'm hearing with the read card, when you get an idea of what those things are that are starting to be released, right? And when you are, what I'm really hearing here is when you're finding those things that are nourishing your soul and making you feel really joyful, and that you're going to, you're going to spark an interest. Some interest of yours is going to be sparked, and you're going to want to find out more information about it. And you're going to find it by reading it. You're going to read it somewhere. Okay. And then this is also pleasure. Like, this is also, to me, you can go on an adventure here. So if you're stuck at home and you still can't travel, for financial reasons, or because there's still restrictions preventing you from going where you would like to go for travel, that this is a beautiful way to be able to have an adventure even while you're at home. And you can even do it for free, because you can get the library books online, right? You can get that. I have my little app that I get the library books for free all the time. It's wonderful. I love it because, if I bought every book that I wanted to read, it wouldn't fit in my house. It would be a bad thing. It would be lots of clutter. And we don't want to have a lot of clutter. All right. And then the respect is really sticking out to me here. Just be respectful of yourself, because when you're respectful of yourself, that's going to gravitate outwards. I don't know what I just said. It's going to gravitate outwards, right? Speaking of gravity, and you're going to pull all of the respect back to you. So what you're giving out, you're going to, it's a cycle. It's going to come back to you, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing that. And the nourishment to me is not just nourishing your body. It's just nourishing it. The nourish card to me is nourishing your soul. This is really talking a lot this week about, and last week even, we were talking about a new adventure, right? And this is really a continuation of that for me. So we were looking at a new beginning. We were finding our true north last week. This week, it's like, okay, well, now you've answered a lot of questions about where that needs to go. So let's go ahead and get grounded. Let's look at the bigger picture now that you have looked at those details, right? Last week, we were researching a lot and asking lots of questions about paths that we were wanting to take. So now we're like, okay, now we got those details. Now we're going to take a step back. We're going to look at the bigger picture, right? Of what we want on a larger scale, because we're ready to start manifesting some things. I like to manifest things. And we want to make sure that we are doing things, that we are making choices that are nourishing our souls, that are making us feel amazing and wonderful and high vibing, because that we don't want to, when we're, if we're going to start partying too hard and having fun in other ways that we think that they feel amazing and we think that we're really having fun, but on the inside, like the day after, it's like regrets and things like that. You don't want to start getting a karmic buildup of all of this kind of stuff. All right, we're not trying to create some weird karma, or some karma that later on is going to be like, well, you gotta work through this and deal with this again. So, and I'm feeling that too, with this moderation card keeps popping to me with the overindulgence. So if you have been doing things and it has turned into like some addictive behaviors with alcohol, with drugs, or gambling, anything that is becoming problematic and you're having a hard time stopping that, to remember that there's no harm, there's nothing, to find professional help if you need to, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Never feel ashamed because you need to have outside help come in, because sometimes we get into those situations and we need a third party to help us make sense of everything and take care of that situation, because maybe there's some underlying things that you need help with that, you're just going to need professional help with. So don't be afraid to reach out to a professional if you need to. The wrap up kind of turned into the wellness tips, so we kind of did it all at once. The only thing that I want to add to that is just the respect thing keeps popping up to me. In respecting yourself, really, with this, it's because these two are talking to me because they landed right underneath each, right, boop, together, kind of. So these two are talking to me and just being like, respect yourself, right? Like, don't do the things that you know that you shouldn't be doing anymore. And if you really need to find somebody to help you figure out how to stop doing something that you're kind of that you have lost control over, then that this is a great time for you to start thinking about, to take action on that, and to reach out. And the respect, because the respect, like I said, it's the karma thing for me too that stood out, respect and karma. And you want to have respect for yourself because you want to keep bringing that in, and you don't want to have to deal with some karma that has to, especially because I'm feeling like this is something that for some of us we've already kind of dealt with and we're kind of putting to rest, but it's like it's being brought up again in order for us to be able to see if it is in fact something that has been that we're just done with, right? That we've put an end to, that we've closed the book on. Okay, so just make sure that if it was a problem in the past and things are coming back up for you and you're being tested a little bit, that you look at that bigger picture so that you make the choice that works, that works best for you, and and if you decide you're going to test the waters a little bit, that you have looked at the bigger picture of that and you're making a solid, sound decision based on that. And just know where you stand with that, right? All right. So, and then the nourish card to me is, like I said, doing things that nourish your soul. So find what that interest that gets sparked in you when you are looking at this groundedness, like when you're doing your activities that are helping you feel grounded and stuff like that. When you feel that spark, that's the nourishment, right? Nourish that through finding new information and reading and all of that. All right, so with that, I will let you guys go, and I'll see you again on Wednesday for the midweek Oracle check-in. And let me know in the comments what sparks that. What's that spark in your soul? What are you going to nourish this week in your soul that you're excited about? I am very anxious to hear all about that. All right, so I'll see you guys Wednesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Big hugs full of healing and loving energy just for you, because I do love you so much. All right, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye now.